Hey guys, Discipline Magic here, and Wizards just released an announcement today on Sunday, which is kind of weird, but I don't know. They've probably been doing that the whole time and I just didn't notice. And they're making a bunch of changes. Most prominently, they're making a slight change to FNM, which should scare you as much as it scares me. In fact, still to this day, it's like if I hear Wizards announces something or Wizards starts an article with "we're changing," a little bit of a bad connotation there, a little anxiety, little fear coming along with that. You know, mostly based on the bonehead moves they made in the past, but I will say that in the last couple months they've made immense positive changes to the game. I mean, getting rid of small sets and blocks and not splitting mechanics between sets. Hugely intelligent, very, very smart. Making master sets non-WPN only. Very positive, very smart, very, ear to the ground, let's see what's going on, let's fix it. They're changing how MTGO reports its statistics to give people a more accurate representation of the actual decks and their actual power level instead of misleading stats that cause people to act in, well, a way that negatively impacts the game. And yes, that is exactly what they're doing with the change, unlike some other less intelligent YouTubers who couldn't quite figure that out. I mean, when it comes to two competing theories, one is that people are too stupid to figure out and utilize proper raw statistics, versus people need those statistics to properly fight the meta and build rogue decks. I think you could solve it pretty quickly by looking at what people are doing. Oh look, everybody's copying the same stupid deck. Let's do something about it. I mean, duh. So anyway, that's one of many changes they made lately that are very positive. The other big one is they hired people to specifically prevent the 4-card bannings that just happened from happening. At the card design state, basically. Or really, the whole set development process, they just oversee it and make sure nothing is broken or unfair. I don't even need to say that that's a brilliant move, so I've kind of been thinking, oh, Wizards announced another announcement. They're changing something. Oh, this will be for the best. No, they went and ruined it again. I would definitely lean towards this not being for the best. And as usual, I have a conspiracy theory about the true motives here. This one's a little shakier than most. So let's start with the small stuff. They're now gonna, instead of holding game day 4 weeks after the release, I think that's when it was, they're doing it at the end of what they call a season, a sets season. Kind of confusing to use the word season. They use it a lot in this article. I would call it a quarterly product release period, but that's the most corporate, not friendly thing I've ever heard. So I don't know. I guess now they're calling it a season, whatever. I guess we're in HOU of Devastation season. The only problem is I could have sworn they used the word season for either standard, showdown, or leagues. Specifically, I think leagues. So that's a little confusing, but whatever. So whenever I say season, just replace it in your head with product release. So Ixalan is coming out in early October, and the game day will be December 30th or 31st. Yeah, they just missed the national holiday where everybody is off of work by 1 day, but still managed to put it on what most people consider a holiday. Good job, Wizards! So, I don't know if I would have chosen that particular date, but I guess that's just how it worked out. Honestly, I don't really care when they hold game day. I guess the cards will be cheaper by then, and you have more time to play with 5 different decks and then select your favorite, I guess. So, if anything, it's kind of positive. You can take it or leave it. I think people have differing opinions on it. It's not terribly important. I personally don't care when they hold it. So there's pros and cons to that, but a 100% con that they decided to go with is they changed the name from Game Day to Store Championship. Yeah, they renamed it Store Championship just in case you were, starting to get sure that Game Day was maybe a national thing put on by Wizards and that they provided product support, or I should say prize support for it. So if you see a poster on Slippery Steve's discount bail bonds and magic cards, I believe that's the fake LGS name I always use. If you see it, it says Slippery Steve's Store Championship, December 30th. Doesn't that kind of sound like it's a store championship? Just for that store? Now, they did capitalize the S and the C, and I suppose you could do that in all of your marketing materials and on a website, Facebook, whatever, for your LGS, but it still really does sound like not a national event. It sounds like a championship for just that one store. I mean, that is heavily implied by the name, so I think that's immensely stupid. It's just confusing and dumb. People will not know that Wizards specifically went out of their way to send participation game day promos, and I think they send prizes. I don't remember. Oh yeah, game day is in place of FNM, so they give away the FNM promo. Okay. Now, on all marketing materials and everything, it's going to look like it's just for that one store, and they're the ones who came up with it, and it's going to be kind of sucky. So that was the dumbest name change I've heard recently. I mean, that is not great. Then again, this is coming to you straight from the people who renamed a fat pack to a bundle. Probably, well, rumor is more of a joke at this point, that some fat angry lesbian got triggered by it and told them they had to change it. And I mean specifically like one of the angry feminist purple-haired lesbian millennial activists that they constantly hire, and one that has their head so far up their ass they can barely do their own job. That's allegedly the rumor for why they changed it from fat pack to bundle. The stated reason was because fat pack was too vague and didn't describe properly the contents. So they went with bundle. Also, the writing on the box for the fat packs described the contents. Now I'm getting triggered over it. So I'm not going to read their paragraph about explaining the first change to FNM here because it makes not 1 ounce of sense. But now actually I'm going to read it just for entertainment purposes. The first change is easy. Monthly FNM packages were mostly arbitrary and didn't always align with the latest and greatest of what Magic had going on. By aligning seasons, which to players mostly indicated what promos you would receive, with the sets, we can better give players experiences that are relevant. What does any of that mean? I believe by package they mean the thing they get in the mail from Wizards that's the promos for the month, and they meant to say that by a season they mean product release. So at the end of the day, let me write a better version of this. Okay, ready for this? The FNM promos will be from the set that was most recently released. Technically, that wouldn't have even needed to be a paragraph. So that's a very small change. The second change, here's the big one that everybody gives a crap about. They're moving to foil double-sided tokens and getting rid of the promo cards. I mean, technically it's still physically a card, but I mean, non-token cards. I don't know. You could say spells and lands. So the promos will no longer be spells and lands. They will be tokens. So there goes any chance of value. Now that said, there is a little bit here. This is not just completely out of left field. They have some logic and they have an explanation for what they did. They said that the foil zombie tokens that were recently made, I believe that was the Eldritch Moon pre-release, I think. Those were hyper popular, and honestly, I think they were worth a couple bucks, but that's just because they had almost never printed a foil token. So whenever you get the first of something, or second of something, or I think in that case third, because Merit Lage was one, and then there was like a Judge promo, I think. I think that's why people snap them up. Also, zombies are very heavily played in like EDH, modern, everything basically, so anybody could use them. But it's not like they hit $10. I don't recall that ever happening. So if they print them month after month after month, okay, the novelty wore off, they're going to be worth like $1 or less. I guarantee it. So the question is, were they trying to eliminate value from prizes, like actual monetary value, which maybe, because I mean you got like a 99-cent for Rise from the Tides or whatever it is, and then you've got like a $20 to $40 expected promo Fatal Push. I think an ideal environment would have been make the promo between $5 and $8 every single month consistently. And I know people are going to say, but how do they know it's going to be popular? They try their best to predict it, but they're always wrong about what the top decks will be. That is true, but doesn't take a genius to know that Aether Hub would be a worthwhile card and played. I mean, it goes in any color, and it generates any color, and it's a land. I mean, if you're going to print a baller spell like Disallow, that's like going to be a very competitive counterspell in general in the history of the game, maybe choose that one. It's not that hard to pick out a very safe card, and you gotta wonder how they picked out like Rise from the Tides. Like, did they really think that would be the biggest thing ever? Maybe they were looking forward to, you know, what they all knew, which was, oh, zombies are gonna be big in Amonkhet, and they thought that card will pick up the pace a little bit. And honestly, it might come back around now that Blue-Black Zombies is looking pretty good. But there were some that were like Path to Exile. Wasn't even legal in Standard, and they gave it away a couple years ago as the FNM promo, and that was just a guaranteed $10 bill right there. It was a modern staple, and you're there probably playing Standard for FNM. Why would they give away a modern card to somebody who's proven themselves to be a Standard player? I get why that didn't make sense, and why now they're saying that the, well, now token that they're giving away will be a token from like a card or a mechanic that is in the currently released set that month. And also, by the way, there's going to be 3 of them, and I think it's going to be like either your choice or they're going to rotate it every week or however your LGS wants to do it, because they said the first series of 3 tokens will be from Ixalan, and you'll be able to get them from October 6th to January 19th, which is right before Rivals of Ixalan comes out. By the way, total tangent here, but anybody wondering how they get from the whole Gatewatch gets defeated by Nicol Bolas to immediately Jace is looking for a city of gold on another plane? I really can't wait to see how the storylines connect. That'll be interesting. Anyway, if they were to give out foil emblems and double-sided emblems that are different on each side, like one could be a Jace emblem and one could be the Vraska emblem, that would be cool. I mean, because emblems have never been worth much, but they're almost always guaranteed like 50 cents. And yeah, I mean, when you get an emblem off, it's usually from an ultimate, and you would kind of want that to be big and sparkly and amazing. So hopefully that counts as a token. I think they're kind of open to doing that in the future, but let's just go back to, oh, they're bringing out a 1/1 white human, woo, or like a warrior or whatever. You know, whatever's relevant to the current set. Who cares? It's like, I like it when people don't use dice so that both of us don't forget what the hell that thing is. Also, I kind of want to know its tap status, and oh, is it the one with vigilance or is it not? Is it the black-white human cleric or is it the white human? You know, use the damn card. But then again, tokens are like 5 to 10 cents usually on the market. Why do people not play with them? Do they just not have room in the deck box? That usually actually is it. So, I mean, when you take a basic look at it, it's like, you can still play with the card. It's just literally the card's value that I'm concerned about. So it goes back to, why are they trying to eliminate value from the prizes instead of add value? Well, there's one thing that sticks out in my mind. I mean, first, there's the psychology of, oh, this month's promo is 99 cents and this month's promo is $30. Okay. Once you've experienced $30, you're going to be a hell of a lot less motivated to show up when it's $1. And that's like a real thing. At my old LGS, a lot of people were like, oh, I wasn't here last week. I just didn't feel like showing up because, one, you know, net decking, mirror decks, I hate the meta right now, but also the prize wasn't worth anything. And this is coming from somebody who usually won FNM. So obviously that would be on their radar. They were one of the better players, and they also typically net decked. So yeah, mirror matches. So I get it. It wasn't the only reason they didn't show up, but you know, I think they would have put everything aside and tried to compete for like a $20 card if that was the prize. And I think this was actually like the month after Path to Exile. So a lot of people that next week after they stopped giving away Path to Exiles didn't show up because they're like, oh, Path to Exile. I showed up 4 times in a row to try to win it. Okay, now I've got 3 copies. Oh, and the next promo is 99 cents. Wow, who cares? I think there's a psychological factor to that where you're like, you feel like you lost something or that going to FNM is less valuable. I play just to play, but I will tell you that I am going to bring my strongest deck ever out of anything I've built. I'm going to bring whatever is the winningest deck to try to win those fatal pushes, and I'm going to show up every single week. So on the plus side, I'm going to show up every single week, but on the minus side, there ain't no playing around. I'm not going to bring a fun deck. I'm not going to bring an experimental deck. I'm just going to go there to win, which is not how I typically play. If I want to play a fun deck, I'll play a fun deck. I don't care that much about winning, and I'm a good enough player that I can kind of make anything work. I mean, unless the deck's just horrific, which usually I wouldn't build it then. But just a medium power deck, you know, I go to have fun. Well, not when there's like 30, 40 bucks on the line. Hell no, there ain't no fun allowed now. And for people who aren't me, they're going to cheat. So keep that in mind. I mean, $5 entry fee, 40 bucks on the line, a little bit better than casino odds. By the way, instead of going to KitsuneCon, I went to the casino because my friend had a free birthday credit because it was his birthday, and I had a free $5 credit because I'm awesome, and I won 100 bucks with it. Thanks, KitsuneCon. Just kidding. Still, fuck you. I hate you all. So back to the change. I mean, if they make it consistently a 99 cent to $2 foil token that people kind of want as a collectible and kind of want to play with, you know, instead of a fluctuating value, I think that's reason number 1. And then reason number 2, they just don't want people to do what I just said, like show up just to win, potentially cheat because there's a lot of money on the line. I mean, if you think people won't cheat for like 30 or 40 bucks, you are drastically wrong because they absolutely will. That is so not friendly to new players. So I think maybe they've seen a little bit of a storm coming, and you know, cards in the past like Path to Exile might have caused this a little bit. I noticed that the people who pretty much always cheated even more when Path to Exile was on the line. So maybe they just want to eliminate that, and they don't want the variant, so they just want a consistently valueless card. I mean, me personally, I'd be the type of person that they're targeting. I like stuff just because it's pretty shiny and rare. I'm basically a capuchin monkey. I like shiny stuff. If you show me a big shiny Rise from the Tides and it's got really cool artwork and really good foil job, you might as well be jangling keys in front of my face. So do I want the token about as much as I want any other promo? Yes, with the exception of one worth $10+, then I will treat it differently. So they're not necessarily wrong if I'm the type of person that they're making this change for. But let's jump to the other changes because, like I said, I have a little bit of a conspiracy theory here. So for the standard Showdown, which, by the way, Leagues and Showdown, I know next to nothing about. I made one video about them. Already forgot what the hell they are because I believe we demoed it at my store and then they stopped holding it. I don't know, due to lack of interest or it was too hard or I have no idea. I've been to FNM for a couple weeks. I totally forgot that these two were a thing and they've mentioned nothing about it. But, considering I've been there on off days to play other alternative tournaments, which were still not the Showdown and not the League, I suspect they're not holding it. Anyway, for Standard Showdown, that's the one where you can, I guess, apparently still win those little teeny tiny thin boosters. Now they're going up to 5 cards, and one of them is a guaranteed foil land with past artwork from Rebecca Guay, which I heard people are big fans of her. They are very good looking, but they've never been printed in foil with this exact artwork. Now, they're not full art for some reason, probably because they weren't initially drawn or formatted that way to be that tall. That would be my guess. But yeah, that's kind of cool. Also, another Magic Open House coming September 16th and 17th. I went to the last one. Couldn't really bring anyone that was interested in playing because they, I don't know, all had scheduling issues or just outright refused. But it was about, 25% new-ish people and 75% the same old from FNM. And we still had fun because it was a very level playing field because we all had, like, kind of the same decks. Although, at mine, they mixed the years. And I will say that the more recent decks are just immensely more powerful than the ones from the year before. So some people had a comically large disadvantage. Still, it was a super chill, super non-competitive thing, and I think people like those events. So if you were planning on not going to the open house because you have nobody to go with, or you think it's not for you, it's kind of for new people, no, just go. I mean, because it's fun and it was cool. At least mine was. And you get a free deck, and you can, find somebody you've never seen before in your life and give them some free sleeves or some free land packs or whatever, be cool about it. Also, Leagues, that's the one where you start with 3 boosters and build a 30-card deck. Sounded like a great idea. I wanted to try it. Couldn't go to the demo for scheduling, and now, like I said, I don't think they hold it anymore, at least at my LGS. Well, now it's got a participation promo card. Yay! Don't know what it is, but it is some kind of promo. Let's just assume it's not a double-sided foil token for a second. So Leagues and Showdown now have an additional unique promo with alternate art and usually almost always foil, and they've taken those away from FNM. You probably already see where I'm going with this. I suspect that my store stopped holding Leagues and Showdown because of lack of interest, and I heard that it didn't exactly take off perfectly in the community as a whole. So is Wizards shifting around the prizes so that you have to go to these if you want exceptionally good promos? I think maybe that's it. I'd be leaning more towards they just don't want a $1 then $10, then $1 then $40, then $1 then $15 promo, because that's just dumb. I mean, how hard would it be to just pick out a consistent promo, pick out a land, pick out a counterspell, pick out something universally, like, probably good, a very good candidate or a known staple in Modern? Just do that. Make that the promo, because it's guaranteed to be worth more than 99 cents, and then just don't print anything that's insane. Like, don't print a freaking Thoughtseize promo. So I think, could they do a better job at picking them? Yes, but now, as I said, they're moving to only giving away promos for 3 months that are from the most recently released product. So if it's not going to be from Modern, it is going to be from Standard, and they're locked into one set, they've got to make a pretty damn good guess 3 times out of 3 about what cards will be popular. That does actually seem moderately hard. It opens it up to a little bit of failure. So their idea was, screw it, let's just guarantee that we print a mostly worthless card. I'm not sure if that was the best solution, but I don't know, it does solve some things. Overall, corporately, company-wise, I think it's a bad decision. I'm not that tripping over it, though. I don't think it's, like, insanely stupid. But what do you guys think? Like, how bad do you think this is? Are you in support of it for some reason? Are you like me, you kind of don't care as long as it's a promo? Taking out the factor of the actual dollar amount, you want it no matter what it is, just because there aren't that many floating around? Or are you like, no, I hate tokens, I've got plenty of tokens from opening boxes, I don't need a special one, I'd honestly rather all the artwork matches, which I could see that too. Whatever your thoughts, leave them down below, and while you're down below, there's a link to the survey for Hour of Devastation. So You've probably had somewhere between 0 and 1 days to play with Hour of Devastation in a constructed format, because the release day is supposed to be a draft according to Wizards. Not sure if they were enforcing that this time. I mean, honestly, it was only a recommendation in the first place. But yeah, it is very possible that now you'd be filling out the survey without technically having played with Hour of Devastation yet, except at the pre-release. Why, Wizards, why? Why are you releasing the survey this early? Nobody knows anything about Hour of Devastation and you're going to take a survey on it. Are you serious? That said, if you hate certain cards in it, let them know. This thing's only usually live for like a week or something. So click the link, take the survey to the best of your ability, and just let Wizards know what you think, because they apparently do actually read it. What they do with the results is up to them, because they still think they know better than their customers half the time, but I don't know, a lot of stuff they said, we've heard from you, we made this change because we heard from you. They're probably referring to this. So don't let just the, tryhards and net deckers take this survey and then they'll get a crooked, what would you call that, non-representative response. We need everybody in on it, especially people who watch my channel, because they're reasonable people. So take, 5 minutes to do that, and that's about it for this video. Let me know what you think about all the announcements, though, and I will see you next video.